Hello world, first in your roundup of hacking news. We've all been there. You're telling someone about how badly you want to buy some shiny new thing, and 5 minutes later, you get an ad for that shiny new thing on your phone. Was your phone listening to your conversation the entire time, conspiring to serve you ads based on what you said? A new report claims that this is exactly what's happening. This news stems from an article called Active Listening, an Overview, on the website of CMG, or Cox Media Group. They're a massive marketing company with an annual revenue of almost $1 billion. If anyone knows about marketing, it's these guys. Their article reads, "Imagine a world where you can read minds." Not a great start. "We can identify buyers based on casual conversations in real time. The growing ability to access microphone data on devices like smartphones and tablets enables our technology partner to aggregate and analyze voice data during pre-purchase conversations." Essentially, these guys are claiming to be able to serve ads based on your speech. Is this legal? The short answer is yes. It is legal for phones and devices to listen to you. When a new app download or update prompts consumers with a multi-page terms of use agreement, somewhere in the fine print, active listening is often included. Now, if this is all true, it would be pretty terrifying. I've always dismissed the idea that phones listen to us as just total BS. You have tons of conversations next to your phone that don't cause ads to appear, so when it does happen, it stands out more and you get a bit of confirmation bias. But whilst it's easy to dismiss random people who claim their phone is listening to their every word, when it's coming from a multi-billion-dollar marketing company, it's slightly different. Shortly after the article was published, it obviously went viral. CMG ended up taking down the article and scrambled to put out a statement, essentially taking back everything the article said and that they regret any confusion. Amazon and Google joined in, putting out statements of their own, refuting that they have anything to do with active listening. But why was the article published in the first place if it's total BS? The general consensus here is that Justin, the guy who actually wrote the article, just got a bit overexcited. I mean, the article does sound a bit sensationalized. It doesn't give any details as to which devices are doing this or even how, but rather it's written like a complete sales pitch. At various points throughout it, you're prompted to get in touch with him and claim your territory now. But let me know what you think in the comments. Is Justin just being a bit silly, or is he spilling some serious beans? A major cyber attack has hit fuel stations in Iran, with over 70% of them across the country being taken completely offline. The hacktivist group behind the attack is Predatory Sparrow, and like other hacktivists, they're skilled trolls, with them releasing a video mocking the Iranians. The Iranian government has confirmed the attack, but this is particularly embarrassing for them because it's not the first time that this has happened. Back in 2021, the same group, Predatory Sparrow, disrupted the smart card system used by Iranians to pay for fuel, which led to long queues at fuel stations and, well, chaos. Predatory Sparrow is staunchly aligned with Israel and said that this latest operation was in response to the aggression of the Islamic Republic and its proxies in the region. Now, this is a reference to the recent attacks by rebels in Yemen on fuel tanker ships destined for Israel, which has even caused some oil companies to reroute their operations entirely, which has in turn disrupted fuel supply to Israel. The Houthi rebels are aligned with Iran, and so this attack by Predatory Sparrow seems to be their kind of a way of getting back at Iran. And before you ask, yes, there is evidence that the group is run by the Israeli military. Last year, Predatory Sparrow hacked a steel factory in Iran, which actually ended up causing a fire. In the wake of that, Israeli media leaked that Israel's military unit 8200 was behind the attack, and that was all but confirmed when the Israeli government launched an investigation to probe those recent leaks from closed discussions. On top of that, whenever Predatory Sparrow launches an operation, they make it very clear that they do their best to avoid unintended casualties. For example, when they caused that fire at the steel factory, they pointed out that they did it when there weren't any workers around. And in the recent denial of service attack on fuel stations, they claimed they contacted emergency services to let them know of it in advance. Whether these advance warnings had any effect, I'm not convinced. I mean, I don't think emergency services take orders from anonymous Skype numbers, but it does suggest that Predatory Sparrow is at least doing something to minimize damage control should it ever be publicly acknowledged that Israel was really behind the hacks. Unfortunately, there's no technical information at all as to how these hacks were carried out, so I can't tell you anything on that front. However, just a day after this latest hack, things were back to normal. It's happened again. Owners of IoT security cameras have been accidentally given access to the camera feeds of random strangers. In this case, Patient Zero was a Reddit user who posted, "Security problem? My wife received a notification from Unify Protect, which included an image from a security camera. However, here's the twist. This camera doesn't belong to us." Unify Protect is the app used by Ubiquiti's line of security cameras, and just a few days ago, users of it started receiving camera notifications intended for other people, complete with an exclusive peek right into their homes. And in some cases, people weren't just getting someone else's notifications, but rather they were given full control to other people's devices. With the ability to go into their account, change their settings, it seems they essentially had as much access as the actual owner did. Ubiquiti quickly dispatched Captain Obvious to let everyone know that this is not expected behavior and that they were looking into it, but the situation got worse, because other than just cameras, Ubiquiti sells all kinds of networking gear, which it turns out was vulnerable to the exact same problem. Corporate customers even posted that they had access to dozens of routers and networking gear owned by other businesses. Ubiquiti eventually got to the bottom of the bug, thanks to what they're calling a misconfiguration. About 1,000 accounts were improperly associated with another set of accounts, which led to notifications being routed wrongly and the ability to access someone else's devices. This isn't the first time something like this has happened. A couple years back, Eufy camera owners were also able to see the camera feeds of complete strangers. And stories like this are really unsurprising at this point, and just seem to be the inevitable consequence of using cloud systems. Even companies like Google have recently been having trouble of their own. If you aren't prepared to accept the potential security cost of using cloud systems, then you probably shouldn't be using them in the first place. And I don't mean to sound like Captain Obvious, but of course the only way to avoid a complete disaster like this is just to ditch the cloud and host it yourself. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.